Alrighty everyone, welcome back. We are now getting closer to the very end of The Mandalorian Season 3 with only one chapter remaining that will debut next week. A lot of fans are really looking forward to the Ahsoka Tano series that's about to debut by this August. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, we know that there's a lot of things happening between John, George, and Dave, trying to really turn Star Wars around back to the way that it used to be. And on the other end, we have Kathleen Kennedy really struggling with things like the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. Now, one major plan that John and Dave do have for the character of Rey has a lot to do with their post-Episode 9 series that is really going to reinvent the character in total. Her new name, her new identity, backstory, whatever you have to say about that. It's going to be one of the most huge ways in order to really reinvent the character by use of this post-Episode 9 series, which, by the way, is going to follow this Rey-centered Star Wars movie by Stephen Knight. So on top of this, alright, we know that John and Dave are really just trying to create a name for themselves. They want to make the fans happy. They want to stay true to the franchise. They want to bring Star Wars Legends back to life and really revive those stories in which they are in the Ahsoka series and Season 2 of Ahsoka as well, mind you. But we also have Mando 4 in the works that's going to have a lot of Luke Skywalker content thrown in there, as well as other, fan favorite characters. Now, on to the next big thing. This is where things begin to get really intriguing, involving, of course, John and Dave, and exactly what they are going to do with the character of Rey, and what kind of connection she's going to have to legacy characters. So, with Disney and Lucasfilm preparing to make a number of changes toward the sequel trilogy films by use of John and Dave's retcons, they will also be using in upcoming Star Wars. John and Dave are currently finalizing the plan on how to utilize Rey in their upcoming post-Episode 9 series that will feature Rey as one of the big cameos that will mainly focus on the new generation of Jedi. Now, though Rey is planned to be more of a secondary character in the show, since it will focus on a wide cast and a wide range of different Jedi, their plan is to give Rey a brand new identity that is going to actually be instructed and implemented into the canon first by 2024, then in live action for 2026, when the show is planned to debut on Disney+. Now, it's noted that John and Dave's storyboards illustrate Rey's name as Rey Solana Kenobi, and that the name Rey Skywalker is completely cancelled from their project, as they will be dropping that plan that was introduced by Kennedy in Episode 9. Now, the name Solana comes from the mother who is going to be canonized as Miramur Solana Kenobi, the daughter of Obi-Wan's brother, and her father being the son of Emperor Palpatine that is currently named simply Dathan Palpatine. The plan by John and Dave is that even her first name is going to be changed, however it won't be in the marketing. So let me stop right here for 1 second. Now, we've talked about this on and off before in the past, but now this is entering into the final stages of exactly what John and Dave plan to do with the post-Episode 9 series that's going to have a lot of revelations about Rey, some of which will be teased in this Rey movie by Stephen Knight. So it's really interesting that they're going to be dropping the whole Rey Skywalker marketing and the overall structure of that. So for example, you're not going to have things like in the marketing or of any kind of merchandise, like saying Rey Skywalker's lightsaber or anything like that. That's not going to be a thing after John and Dave's story comes out on Disney+. Now, we're not quite sure exactly what's going on with the movie. We do know that the movie holds a lot of revelations and twists and turns as well related to Rey herself. And so there's going to be some kind of deep personal development for Rey in this Rey-centered film that's going to evolve in the series by John and Dave. So the thing about this that I think is very interesting is that they are canonizing Rey's parents to be a big focus, not just in the film, but an even bigger focus in this upcoming series by John and Dave. So Miramur and Dathan, by the way, are the parents of Rey. They were lightly, kind of discussed in the book, Shadows of the Sith, that takes place some years before The Force Awakens. We do learn a little bit more about them. And in there, yes, we do learn that Dathan Palpatine is like a failed clone of Sidious through genetic engineering. Genetics, gene splicing to be specific, and that's what makes him a son without necessarily, you know, having a lover or a wife or anything like that. So he had a son through gene splicing, you know, and doing that technique. The thing about this is what they're doing with the whole Kenobi brother aspect, and it does fall directly in line with the Kenobi series. We do know that Jon Favreau literally forced Joby Harold, told Joby Harold, the writer of the Kenobi series, to have Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan drop a line about him possibly having a brother. That was to fit in with this retelling of Rey's backstory. So it all connects, it all dates back to the Kenobi series, really kind of just igniting that a little bit. And it's really interesting because we have gone over this before in the past, that Kenobi's brother was dubbed as Wei Lin Kenobi, not in the sense of like how the Chinese names are spelt out. It was like W-A-Y space L-I-N. It was kind of like a little bit of a homage to how Obi-Wan Kenobi has like that kind of ring to it, the way it's like said. It's a very interesting word, or name if you will, the way it actually flows. And so when you look at Wei Lin, alright, the way that they are trying to name Obi-Wan's brother, and how that's going to become a canon piece in upcoming books first. In Legends, Obi-Wan did have a brother. We didn't learn too much about it. There were various areas that they did explore about his brother in Legends, but nothing ever really truly, you know, came out of it on a significant level. But I digress. The thing about this, too, further, is that both Dathan and Miramur are the parents of Rey, and that name Rey was just an alias, is what they are setting up. Rey's true first name is said to be Kira, an original idea dating back to the Michael Arndt script of Episode 7, and even some of J.J. Abrams' early scripts for the character, leading her true name to be, of course, Kira Solana Kenobi, while holding both the Palpatine and Kenobi bloodlines. Now, though John and Dave realize this may be confusing to some, the name Rey itself will still be used in marketing. They're just setting up the backstory that her true name is Kira. They are finding ways to execute this very well for the audience that will be easy to understand in live-action scenes and in the upcoming books for 2024 as well. And I can understand how this may come across as a little confusing because we don't really have the family trees down just yet visually, and they are going to be making that more apparent in the series. So, to put it very simple here, you have Palpatine's son, Dathan Palpatine. You have, of course, Miramur Solana Kenobi, basically the daughter of Obi-Wan's brother, having a child named Rey. Hence, Rey has the Kenobi and Palpatine bloodline. That's kind of an easier way to put it out there. While also making it canon that Rey's name is an alias and her true name is dating back to the original name from the scripts, the original scripts of The Force Awakens being Kira. I like this, and I think that they're on a roll. I think it could change things and make things more entertaining. But anyways, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.